MixNik 2024 was an absolute movie. I'm talking about we got to rub shoulders and learn from young guru Leslie Brathwaite, Gentine Zhao, Daniela Rivera, and a whole bunch more. On the VIP night, man, which was super exclusive, a lot of y'all that even attended MixNik didn't get to peep this, but you are in for a treat right now, man. I teamed up with Warm Audio to get Ben Thomas, man, the legendary engineer Ben Thomas, to come to the studio and do a live recording session. So y'all are actually about to get an inside look at a MixNik exclusive. Now, I'm not always going to do this, and we ain't going to always show y'all the MixNik behind the scenes stuff. You just got to pop out, man. MixNik 2025 is loading right now. You can actually get tickets to register for that already at an advanced super low price, man. Early bird, I should say. But yeah, Ben Thomas hosted this recording workshop at Bravo Ocean Studios with the songstress Lydia, my beautiful wife, of course, and Reuben Vincent, who is one of Young Guru's artists that's on the come up, man. They killed it in the studio, and y'all about to get to see firsthand the recording process of Ben Thomas doing MixNik, man. Shout out to Warm Audio, and shout out to everybody that pulled up to MixNik. Enjoy.
So when Wayne asked me to come to the MixNik this year, you know, I was like, listen, man, we're not doing a mixing breakdown because Leslie and Guru are here. They got this. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. I was like, what can I do? This is what I do. So here's how I'm thinking we're gonna do this, right? So I'm gonna walk everybody through my template and my mindset when it comes to recording. We'll do that for a few minutes. Yes, sir. Yeah. Let's do it. And then, oh wait, I need to screen record. Okay, so let's just walk through this template real quick. So this is gonna be this is my template. The template doesn't change depending on the genre. We pull this template up with everybody. So starting at the top, I have a blank audio track, right? This is here for two reasons. One, because when I was younger, I started off using GarageBand, and GarageBand always had that grand piano at the top. And so now I just am terrified when the tracks touch the top. We gotta have a spacer, right? But also, the other crucial part about this is I will consolidate, hold on. So I will consolidate a clip, the entire length of the song when we're done. And I use that on this track so that I can make sure that my bounces are always the same length and I'm not like bouncing them too short or forgetting something. I'm trying to figure out this mic situation. There we go, that works. Okay, so after that, I have the click track, right? Okay, this is gonna be very Pro Tools focused. If you're not a Pro Tools user, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. This is a Pro Tools experience. Now, some of the concepts and the themes and stuff will translate, but this is a Pro Tools situation that we're doing here. So right here's my click track, right? Little Pro Tools hack for you. So the click track that you normally get is this thing, right? Right? This is going to bleed through your headphones, okay? There's no world where it won't. But if you come in here and you change it to the one that says Classic MPC Click, this is not going to bleed in your headphones. You can turn this up as much as you want. Cool. Classic MP3. And Classic MPC Click, yes. So here is my my stereo bus. Everything's inactive when I'm recording. We'll get back to that later. Super simple, all vocals, all music. All music, simple, 2 plugins. One, Pro Q, just in case I need to make an adjustment. Then we have a track spacer that's being sidechained to the lead vocal. So the frequencies in the lead vocal will like duck out of the music to create a little space. Cool. Now, very important, something to take away from this. My goal when recording is how can I keep the latency as low as possible, right? So every plugin I use, if it adds to the delay compensation, we're done, right? So my goal is to try to keep it under 100 samples. I think right now it's at 80. Yeah, it's at 80, and without auto-tune, it's at 43, so that works. Okay, so then we have 2 VCAs right here. I will touch on this one right here in a little bit, but this one, it just controls all the background vocals. Then we have 2 spots for our beat, right? This one right here is where I load the beat. It has a trim plugin, turning it down by 10 dB, because you gotta get that headroom. Recording is about speed. It's not about how good it sounds, it's about speed and efficiency. So we are trying to optimize for that. So right here, you see it says LPF. This is my low pass filter. If you notice, it's a track, so I can just cut the beat and move it right there. If you also notice, it has the automation lane for the filter already open. So if I want to draw a sweep out, we're right there, 2 steps, right? Cool. So down here, these are some delay throws. These are just audio tracks that are at 100% wet on the plugin, so I can just drag it right there. Then I call these ones the fancy leads. You see these have some plugins. Some of these are bypass, so that mid-take, I can just flip on a filter if I want to, right? Then right here, we have a bunch of tracks. I like to record on one track and drag up. I know some people drag down, I'm gonna drag up, right? This right here is my record track. If you notice, my record track and my aux for my leads have the same plugins. And you're like, why? Because if you notice, this track is going directly out the all vocals. So when you're recording, the volume and the plugins that you're recording on are independent from the playback. So I could turn you up, and the compression from the playback is not going to compete with what you're recording. If you take anything from this, do this. Have a separate track that you record on that's going out of the main output with the same plugins that are on your aux that they're listening to, so that when they're doubling themselves or when they're trying to punch in, it's not being overly compressed and they can't hear themselves anymore. And if you go back up to the top, you notice that there's this lead Vox VCA. Why? Because this track is stereo and this track is mono. So in order for these two tracks to sound the same volume, this mono track needs to be 3 dB louder than stereo track. Does that make sense? So now I have this VCA that controls both of them. So if somebody's like, turn me up means turn me up coming in, but also turn up what I'm hearing. So now I can turn both of them up and still keep that 3 dB ratio so they sound the same. Cool. We got some ad-libs, same thing, just some auto-tune, little Pro Q, same bus. And then we have a ton of groups for backgrounds. There's 7 of them, all exactly the same. Pre-panned with the auto-tune. Plugins, very, very simple, guys. Because again, the goal, no latency. Simple. NS1 because every room is noisy. Basic Pro Qing right here. Basic, right? So a little filter, a little dip. Then we're de-essing. Then I go through every compressor in the world. At this point, I've accepted the Neutron 3 because what is the goal here? No latency. This one, like in our Vox or in our compressor, those things will bump my delay compensation up by like 100 samples. This one will only do it by 40. That works for me. Then I just recently started rocking the dopamine plugin on my vocal. I like it a lot. A little multi-band compression, a little Spectre if I need it, and then a blank EQ if I need to make adjustments. This is something important. If you're a recording engineer at a studio, please, I know this is a little counterproductive because I'm using this one, but for the most part, please do not use any strange plugins. Do not use any strange plugins. Waves, FabFilter, plugin align, like use plugins that you know other people are gonna have. Cool. So then we have some just basic sends, guys. Super basic. Plate, some halls, a quarter note, some time shifting stuff. Simple. Trying to think, is there anything else I want to touch in? Oh yes, down here. So if you notice, this is my same lead chain, just sent to a different output. So if the artist is like, I got a feature, I don't need to go through and duplicate stuff. I just make all this active and drag it up to the top. You know, we're already ready. Because, so I used to work with Uzi, right? And we would do 5 to 8 songs a night. He would listen to a beat for 10 seconds, and in the time it took him to walk from back there to there, that thing, or like into the booth, we got to be ready, loaded up, ready to go. So we make the template in a situation where I'm ready to go. This is all making sense. Everybody following along? Beautiful. I need to drop my playback engine because I was mixing. I don't want to. I normally rock at 64, but because we're running QuickTime, we're gonna rock at 128. So let's get into this. Yeah. So let me touch on one more thing before we get started. So you guys can't see, but you know we're running through the warm audio set 273 into the WA1B. So I'm just gonna show you on the screen, just using the UAD one, what my settings would be, right? So this is my normal starting point. If you notice, the attack and release are all the way down because it's on fixed. Fixed mode turns off the attack and release. The reason I use fixed is because, one, I've been in a lot of situations where the CL1B is in a rack and somebody can bump it and now I gotta reset it. And two, I just like having less variables, right? I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. So I'm using fixed, and my goal is I'm trying to keep this needle between 2 and 7 for the most part. At the very loudest, we're here, but I'm trying to keep it around here. Ratio, what is this? 4, it's like 4 to 1. Output is usually here, threshold, these adjust. You'll see, it's good. I'm on this thing the whole time. When I'm recording in the box, I'm on, this is open more than Pro Tools is open. All right. So recording is about speed and efficiency. That is the goal, okay? Speed. What does speed mean in Pro Tools? I think people say speed all the time and nobody gives a definition of what speed is. So I'm gonna give a definition of what Pro Tools speed means. Pro Tools speed to me means two things. It means three things. One, can you accomplish the basic task efficiently? Whatever that looks like to you. Number two, have you seen a lot of errors and you know how to fix them quickly, okay? For instance, let me think of an error that throws people off. You open up a session from somebody and you play it, and every 4 to 5 seconds, there's 2 seconds of static, and then static goes away. And you keep it playing, there's 2 seconds of static, and the static goes away. What is that? Somebody raise their hand and answer.
Paying for your plugins.
Yes. I've seen somebody in a session, an engineer get kicked out because they couldn't figure it out. That's because the plugin, one of those plugins is not authorized. Yes?
Or there's a delay.
No, the static would be...
The latency, not delay.
Oh, a latency issue. Yes, that's another one. How many errors have you seen? Can you figure them out? Can you move around the screen efficiently and effectively? That is what Pro Tools speed means. So, here we go. Where are our lovely artists?
In the booth. He's in the booth. Yeah, he's in it.
Oh, well, he hasn't given me the beat, so... Hey, I love that.
Hey, no funny though. I just wrote 2 verses in the 10 minutes he was just talking.
I love that. Look, I told y'all, this is a real session. We come in here, no plan, all vibes. Okay, so... Artist comes in. Listen, artist comes in, you know what I'm saying? Y'all politic, you have some conversations, you know what I'm saying? It's time to get busy. First thing that happens, it's, I should say, Benjamin's MacBook Pro.
Let me see. Hold on. You all. Everyone. Hold up. There you go. Oh,
You see it?
Magic in 3.
Boom, got it. Okay, I airdropped my beat. We got the beat.
Produced by me, by the way.
Hey. All right, so the first thing that I do when I get this beat, excuse me, I'm gonna open up our good old friend MixNik. And I'm gonna show y'all how I have my MixNik set up, which I strongly recommend. There's this little feature right here that says rename files. Turn this on. What this will do is when you drag something in, it will rename it with the key and the BPM. So when you get a pack of beats from a producer, when I was with Uzi, producers would send us a pack of beats. The first thing I would do is I would put them all into MixNik, so they all would have the key and the tempo already in there, so that when it was time to record, I didn't have to, because again, I had 2 minutes to set this session up. So, no, it is not free. And you gotta invest in yourself, it's okay. So, I'm gonna bring this bad boy in, let's get it. Now, he labeled the BPM. Always check. Do not trust the BPMs that are labeled in the beat. Because sometimes somebody types a 4 instead of a 7. So we always check. It doesn't matter if you put the key and the BPM in there, I'm still gonna check. All right, so now if you see this file, right? It's now labeled with the key and the BPM. So now I don't have to guess what it is. If I have 50 beats, I got them ready. Cool. So the next thing that we're gonna do before we start recording is we are going to move this from my downloads into here. If you notice, now if you notice about my computer, there's nothing on the desktop and there's nothing in the downloads. Everything gets allocated. Things don't just vibe on my computer. There's nothing in the desktop, there's nothing in the downloads, and then other than the things I was working on earlier, there's nothing in the trash. Everything goes somewhere. Cool. So now we got our MP3, we're gonna bring it in to our track, right? So now, this is very critical and not enough people do this. MP3s export with a little bit of space on the front. So we are gonna zoom in, we're gonna hit tab, we're gonna cut that, we're gonna bring it back. Cool. So now when I set this BPM, am I in the mood to double time this? What is that, 166? I did that math, right? Yeah, we're gonna double time this. So now when I make cuts, they're gonna be clean. All right, let me play this. I don't know how loud this is gonna play, but we're gonna see. All right. Cool. So we're cut right to the beginning. So when I make these edits, right? Like if I want to do this, right? It's not skipping. If I want to fly a hook, it's gonna fly the hook on beat, right? Cool. So we set our tempo, we got our key, boom. So what I like to do, I like to write my key in the track right there, so I know what it is. I use my auto key. I don't think the auto key works very well for finding the key, but I do think the auto key works very well for sending the key to all the auto tune, right? So what is this? F sharp? Cool. I had the auto key not work for me one time when I hit it once, so I hit it like 10 times. I like hit it a bunch of times to make sure it gets there. So, oh, I left something out. Another thing, if you take nothing from my template, you take three things. One, change the click to MPC click so it doesn't bleed in the headphones. Number two, make a separate track for tracking that has the same plugins with a different output so they don't compete. And number three, does anybody notice anything about the way my inserts are laid out?
Color.
No, not the colors. That's a personal preference thing. Look at the plugins and look where they are. There's nothing on the first insert slot except for the auto-tune. Why? Because I can do that and turn them all off at the same time. Because Option, Command, and clicking will bypass an entire row. So if this artist doesn't want auto-tune, I just bypass every single instance of auto-tune. And if I want to bring it back in, I can. And normally what I used to do, right, is, I don't know why I just redid my template, but normally what I would do is I would have 2 tracks where auto-tune was the second insert. So it wouldn't get bypassed, because what used to happen is Uzi would be like, I don't want to use auto-tune. And I'd be like, okay, cool. And then halfway through, he'd be like, actually, I want to use auto-tune in this part. Cool, I just have to turn this one on because I have these 2 tracks where it wasn't bypassed. Speed and efficiency. This is what efficiency means. These little tiny things that shave off a little bit of time in a session are the things that are going to make you fast and make people keep coming back. All right. Does he use auto-tune or no? When he's rapping? No? Okay.
Sometimes, but,
Sometimes?
but probably on this
Probably
one
not.
not.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This is just me learning. Why use the trim instead of just clip gaining the track?
It's faster. I don't have to clip gain it. Trim is ready to go. It's already
But
down.
how do you know what I'll let you talk.
No, so I default at -10, and if I need to bring it up, I'll bring it up.
If you're trying to take off the amount of plugins, like just as for me, it's just it's just Option, Shift, and then the arrow key.
Yeah.
And then I don't have that plugin on there, and it saves me processing.
I mean, so for the trim, I'm not getting any pull off the trim processing wise, so I don't. It doesn't affect my processing. I'm just used to using it, having it faster there for me. Because my other goal when I'm recording, I do use a lot of clip gain because I'm trying to keep as many of the faders at 0 as possible.
Right, that would be the point.
Yeah, because then when I pass it along to mix, I feel like it's better for that person if all these faders are at 0 instead of having like ones that are pinned at the bottom and at the top. I try to keep my faders at 0, like for the most part when I'm working. So, all right, here we go. We got our beat going. Cool. I'm gonna just cut this mic on and see if the talkback is just on here. Yo, can y'all hear me in there? I just cut the talkback on.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay, can somebody come out real quick so we can figure out what we're doing?
Why do you work on the what time rather than
For my delays. Okay, so what's the vibe? What are we doing? We doing the hook first?
We're doing the hook first.
We doing the hook first.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Ready?
So, what is your do you have any sort of preference in terms of like auto-tune, in terms of like the retune suite or anything?
Yeah, like I like auto-tune, but I don't want it to be like super detectable.
Got it.
I want it to sound natural.
Just want it to sound natural.
And I want it to be wet.
And you want it
like
to be
all
wet.
singers. Come
Beautiful.
on now.
So when I hear that, to me, that means a 20 and 20. A 20, 20, 20. That's when someone says, I want it, but I don't really want it, 20, 20, 20. 20 on the retune, 20 on the flex tune, 20 on the humanize. I'm in classic mode right now, so the flex tune's off, but if I wasn't, for me, for a singer, 20, 20, 20 is a great place to start, right? You can adjust from there, but that's where I like to start. All right.
Vin, before you start,
Yes,
I wanted
sir.
to let you know where I have like intentionally where the verse starts in the beat.
Okay, perfect. So let's play it down and I can just drop a marker. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So, markers are your friends. Drop them for everything. I mark out that verse, that hook. Now, of course, a lot of times you can't pre-mark it because you've never heard the beat before, you never heard the song, the artist might be writing the song. But as I'm figuring out what's going on, I'm dropping markers so I can better see what's going on, and then I can know, okay, I'm gonna fly this part here, I'm gonna fly that part there, because I'm trying to stay organized while I'm doing this, right? So, all right. I have no clue how loud this mic is gonna come in, so let's just cut it on and see. And I probably need to turn it down. Yeah. Oh, drop the marker? Yeah, so to drop a marker, you have two options. If you have a full keyboard, it's the enter that's in the number pad. If you don't have a full keyboard, it is FN, like the function key, and enter. That'll drop a marker while it's playing back. And you can now and drop your markers on beat. So even if the chorus starts with a pickup, still drop that marker on beat. So when you fly at 16 bars, it'll line up to the next 16 bars, right? And then in terms of gear, we are using the WA273 as the pre, and then we're using the WA1B as the compressor. And I can already tell this thing is a little loud. So let's bring the output down. Right. Let's turn them on and see what we got going on. All right, that's a lot of delay. So
It is a lot.
let's bring the delay down. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How's it sound?
You sound a little low.
I sound low.
I would like to hear you a little louder for when we communicate.
Got you. All right.
But the my level sounds good so far without without the music.
All right. This is a 2021 MacBook Pro M2 Pro. No, M2 Max.
How much RAM you use?
I maxed it all out, so I have 96 gigs of RAM and an 8 terabyte internal. So I don't use hard drives, right? Everything is internal. I use hard drives for backups. I work off the internal drive. Can you hear me better now? I turned the mic up.
Like when you were, it'll work.
All right, that's fine.
When you were talking just now, you sounded perfect. Before you did whatever you did, like when you were explaining to the room, it was like.
How's this? Is this good?
I'll struggle to hear you. No worries.
Okay, we're gonna figure it out. All right.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's run it from the top.
Let's start. The hook comes in kind of like right away, so I don't know if you can maybe take me to the second hook.
Oh no! The hook comes in right off the top. That's no problem.
Yeah. So take me to the second one, so I can have some.
Or I can give you a click track as well if you want to just. Or you want to just go to the second hook? We can go to the second hook.
Yeah, I'd rather that. So I can
Question
hear some
is,
music
where
on
is the
free
second
roll.
hook? Anybody know how? Yeah, we'll go.
Oh,
16.
where's Reuben?
Yeah, where's Reuben at?
Don't. Let's do. We can
Oh
go.
yeah, how long's your verse? Is it 16 bar? 16?
yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Markers. Boom. Okay. So then it would be one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's bring you up a little bit. And then if you need anything adjusted in the headphones or something, just let me know. We can make it happen.
Okay. And I'm probably gonna take it like section by section, but I'm just gonna
Look,
like sing it down to get the.
I am here for you. So however you like to work is how
Okay.
we working.
Okay.
All right. So every artist is different. I like to just start with a 2-bar pre-roll. Some people like less, some people like more, some people want to hear one word, some people want to hear 3 lines. It's about feeling that out, right? So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start this bad boy.
Can't trip off the small things, 'cause life just keeps getting better. Yeah. Okay, let's take it again. I'm gonna actually sing it down just to kind of loosen up, and then we can retake whatever we need.
No problem.
Okay. Can't trip off the small things, 'cause life just keeps getting better. Yeah, getting money, taking trips, counting wins. Blessings overflow on me. I got all
she's
I
really
need. I got all I need. I got all I need. I got all I need. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds great. Headphones still sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's try it again.
Yep.
So do you want to start doing sections?
Guys, I'm sorry. I know everybody wants to talk, but right now you're trying to communicate, so if we can be quiet for a second.
Got it. All right. Yeah, let's do those first 2 lines. Down a little bit.
Sorry about that. I don't mean to be the asshole, but nah, be the
It's all good.
It's all good.
Hold on. There we go. All right. So if you notice through that, it's a template, right? So it's a place to start, but we're adjusting, right? I was like, damn, I'm compressing it a little bit too much, right? Now, the only little thing that you have to remember is the record track and the playback track are separate. So I'm gonna simply Shift, Command, C, copy that plugin setting, go to the next one, Shift, Command, V, paste it. And it's beautiful because you can paste across like mono and stereo. So we're just gonna grab this, I made an adjustment there, boom. All right, ready?
Yes.
Let's do this.
Yep.
Can't trip off the small things, 'cause life just keeps getting better.
Yeah. I like it, except for the yeah. We could take the yeah separate, because I want it to be like, yeah.
No problem, no problem. All right, so let's go over some more Pro Tools shortcuts real quick, right? So, everybody know A and S? Yeah? A to trim this way, S to trim that way. So, I'm gonna boom, I'm gonna drag this bad boy up, and then she said she wants to take this yeah again on the end, right? So that's right there. So, we got 2 options, right? So, option number 1 is, since I know what she wants to punch in, I'm gonna just cut it, move it down here. Now, we playlist everything. Every breath, every mistake, every single thing that comes through that mic gets saved. So I can just bring this down and I can playlist this since I know where she wants to punch in. But let's say I wasn't super familiar with this, right? And she was like, I want to punch in this yeah. Something I like to do is I'm gonna just, here, don't sing right here. I just want to demonstrate something real quick. What happens to me a lot is sometimes I don't remember the song or I don't remember the words. So, but I'll remember that she said she wants to punch in on that yeah, or she said she wants to punch in after a certain part. So what I'll just do is I'll start recording and I'll be ready with that Shift M, right? So I'll just hit it with a little mute and then I'll remember and then I'll do the cut after. That keeps my session flowing instead of being like, oh, let me just go and listen and figure out we ain't got time for that. So I'm ready with that Shift M to mute that track. Once I mute it, I'll see that waveform that she recorded right here. Then I can come here and I can edit this and I can delete this or I can drag that down. Does that make sense? This is something else that you can do to keep. When I'm recording, it's gonna kind of be hard to show right here since we're gonna be starting and stopping. But my goal is how can I make it seem like that music never stopped, especially with a rapper. I wanna make it feel like the music never stopped. And that requires pre-planning such as that. All right, let's punch that yeah in.
Okay.
Again, we're looking for like 2 bars, but we don't want to start her in the middle of a word, right? We want to start her, you want to start to identify breaths. Like this is a small breath. I want to start her here in a soft space like this, right? So we know that we're punching in this yeah. Another thing, and I know I'm talking all over, but if you notice, I'm zooming in this waveform because we're recording kind of low. That's why I trim the beat down so much. I'm trying to preserve as much headroom as possible, right? So I like to bring it in low so I can still have headroom instead of bringing it super loud because especially with a singer, I don't know what she's about to go in there and do. She might start belting. I don't want to mess that up because my mic level was too high because my beat was too high and now it's distorted and now either that take is ruined or I got to RX it forever or I got to send it to Ryan and get him to RX it. All right, here we go.
Okay.
I think you could hit that. Just give me a little bit more on it. Like,
Okay.
don't over push it, but just give me a little more.
Got it. Okay.
So, something else. What is the most important thing when it comes to the feel of the recording? Like I said, I want it to feel like the music has been playing the whole time. The playlisting, the moving of things, that can happen after. So if you notice, what I tend to do is I press play and then I start recording. And then I playlist. Because I'm not worried about the playlist, I'm worried about the music. So if you notice, the way I record is I press play, I punch in our playlist.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that felt nice.
So that take was great, but it was a little bit behind the beat.
Oh, okay. So are we gonna do it over?
Nope, no, we're not.
You're gonna nudge.
Timing. So when I first started working, I'm okay with pitch. I've gotten better. My timing was horrible. I'd be working with my homies who'd be rapping, and they'd be like, yo, can you, like, something's off. And I'm like, I don't know. But I drilled it into myself to get better. And I listened to records and how they felt and how things were sitting, and I got my timing better. Timing of a record is huge. Putting something on beat versus it being off beat will change the entire feel of the record, the energy. Work on your timing. If you can't hear it, practice. I don't know. Get better. Like I don't have a better. Now, here's a good way to do that. Pick a nudge value and stick with that nudge value, so you know what you'll get a feel for, like, oh, this needs 2 clicks to the right or 2 clicks to the left, because you're not constantly changing your nudge value. My nudge value is 200 samples, right? So I heard that and I already could tell it needed like 3 of those. It might need 4. It's still a little bit behind, so I'm gonna nudge it a little bit more. Beautiful. So, how do you get better at timing? The first thing you want to do is you want to try to get everything on beat. When you're starting to learn timing, you want to try to get everything exactly on beat so you can feel what that is, and then you want to start to learn how to put it in the pocket. So if you notice, if I zoom in, this is not exactly on beat. It's a little bit behind because that's part of the feel of the record, right? You got to get your timing better. That will make you a better recording engineer, right? You ready for the next line?
Yes.
Let's do it. So, in this case, I'm gonna still go back to this full line. I'm not gonna punch her off the yeah. Now, if you're working with a songwriter, songwriters tend to want to punch really fast. They're like a songwriter would want this much pre-roll, right? So that's why you gotta get better so you can keep up with that. But with the singer, I tend to give people a full line, right?
Getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me.
Yep, let's hit that one more time.
Yep.
The tone is great. Just watch that wins, okay?
Yep. Getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. Nope, let me take it again. Getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me.
Nice, let's hear that. So, in this case, when I said let's hear that, I'm pressing play because I got 2 bars to do what I need to do. So why would I wait, cut this, move it up, then play it? I got 2 bars. I can. I think you get that. I think you get this blessings part.
Okay,
better.
I think I could get both better.
Let's do it then.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut. So I switch. Sometimes I like to drag, sometimes I like to cut, right? I'm gonna cut, I'm gonna bring it down, boom, boom.
Getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me.
I like that. Can we punch in that counting wins? I felt like you hit it just a little strong. Another thing. So y'all see we're having this back and forth? Know your client. This is a space where we can have this back and forth. But there are some clients who don't want you to say anything. Your job is to be a button pusher. Or if there's a vocal producer in the room, your job is to be a button pusher. Know your client. Now, you get to know them, but you got to take a risk sometimes. Sometimes you got to test it. You know, you throw a little feedback out there, you see how it's received. Don't be scared of that. But know your client. Sometimes your job is to be a button, it's to be a button pusher. And that's okay. And you push some buttons real well, and they'll be happy. But Uzi, I maybe gave him 10 pieces of feedback in 3 years, like in the middle of recording. And it was usually like, yo, bro, what does this word mean? It means this. Or, yo, what's the word for this? That was the extent of our conversation in the booth. But when I would record JT, every line, she would ask me what I thought. Like, she would rap a line. What do you think? Oh, you should do this. Just know your client. Every client is different. All right, so we are punching in. What part did I say we're punching in? Yeah, let's do that. So in this case, I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna bring it back. Yeah, can you sing along?
Yes, sir.
Try to encourage people to sing along because it allows them to get a better performance. It also makes your life easier because the comps become way easier when they sing along, right? Watch that counting. Now, again, timing. We don't need to get her to keep doing that because that wins was a little late. I can just move it. Boom. Move it over a bit.
Money taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me.
Okay, last line.
Yep, let's do it.
Getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all I need. I got all I need.
Yep, let's try that again.
Getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all I need. Hold on. I got all I need.
Okay, I'm gonna connect it.
Let's do it. If you notice also while we're recording, what am I doing? I'm not just sitting here on my hands. I'm editing because I got nothing better to do. So then when I'm done, if every clip is gonna be faded because I'm just sitting here, right? But this comes from the template being locked in. This comes from me knowing my shortcuts, knowing what I'm doing, so I don't have to think. I can focus on listening to the performance and editing and getting my stuff right.
Getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all I need. I got all I need.
That was really good. That was a great take. Let's hear that. So something I like to do in this situation, I'm gonna drag this up and then I'm gonna use my best friend, tab to transient. So then I can just play this. Because tab to transient will tab to the next clip, right? So I can just boom, play it.
I got all I need. I got all I need.
Nice.
She got one more line.
And for real, so it's like really nice and hooky. We can just copy and paste that.
Exactly.
Oh, we're gonna fly this. I got all I need. I got all I need. Line
Yeah,
here?
because I wanted to just kind of be like a part people can sing along to.
Got
So keep
it.
it really like repetitious.
Beautiful. So this is why we set our tempo. So we can just see, boom, we got 4 bars. I'm just gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna probably bring this up for that overlap, and then I'm gonna just drag it out. And then something else I like is if you notice my template up here, right? I got all these delay throws ready. So what if we just kind of,
Got all I need.
what if we just hit them with a little, let's heal this clip so it's not split. And we're gonna copy this up. Let's give us a little half note. Now again, we have to copy this because this is just an audio track with 100% wet. So now I'm not trying to draw any automation in a recording session. Speed. So now I can just drop a delay throw in. That's a lot. That's a lot. We're gonna tuck that. You know what I'm saying? Let's we're gonna actually bring this lo-fi up and we're gonna just drop this down. So it's just kind of sitting in the back. And that feedback is way too high. Just a little something to fill. So in this case, I would drop that next marker for this next verse. Whoa. V2. All right. So we got our hook.
I want to just do just a couple dubs.
Oh yeah.
And maybe a few harmonies, and then.
Yeah. So let's do a full double.
Okay.
Let's do 2 full doubles for a left and a right side.
Okay, and I'm just gonna sing it straight down.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
We can do it in sections. You didn't sing it. We can do it in sections. So in this case, we got our lead. Let's say we had done a bunch of takes. We got a nice comp that we like, right? So what I'm gonna do now to make my life easy is I'm gonna bring my recording track down to my doubles, right? So now I'm not like scrolling a bunch. I'm gonna just bring it right here. So something I like to do when I'm recording doubles with a singer is I will actually mute the aux so they're not hearing the doubles played back while they're recording them because they might not be perfectly in time. I don't need you hearing 5 at a time doubles. All I need you to hear is what you're singing and the thing you're doubling. So I'm gonna mute the return for my doubles. You ready?
Yeah.
So let's do that first part. We'll just
The first 2 lines.
yeah, we'll do the first 2 lines and then we'll do them again and we'll move down the sections like that.
Okay, got it. Can't trip off the small things, cause life just keeps getting better. Can't trip off the small things, cause life just keeps getting better.
Okay, did anybody notice what I just did? I queued up the next one. Because again, I don't need to worry about dragging this down right away. I queued up my cursor to this next line. So if I hadn't stopped it, I would have just jumped into playing this next line. She could have just kept going, right? Because I was thinking ahead and I queued up this next one. Because then I would have just played this and in the meantime, I would have dragged it down. All right, let's do the next part.
Getting money, taking trips. One more time. money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. Getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all I need. 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 I kind of messed up on that one.
Yeah, we can hit that one again.
I got all. One more time. I got all I need. I got all I need.
Beautiful. So we got our doubles. But you see how fast we did that? It's because we was queuing up the next part to be ready, right? So in this case, it would depend on the singer and the speed of the session, what I would do next. Theoretically, I would have probably been vocal aligning like these parts while I was recording the next parts, if that makes sense, right? But we're gonna take a quick second here and we're gonna vocal align these. So first thing that I like to do when I'm gonna vocal align a part is I'm gonna select these two and I'm gonna do Option, Control, Shift, and the thing that's between the delete and the return. I don't know what that key is. Because I'm gonna duplicate this, oh, sorry. My fault. I'm gonna do Command, Option, Shift. I wanna duplicate these two playlists. So I'm gonna do Command, Option, Control, and Shift, right? That'll duplicate these two selected playlists. I do that before I vocal align because vocal align likes to mess up and I like to be able to go back, right? So before I vocal align anything, I duplicate my playlist. Personally, I'm not super into the fact that like you can use vocal align like in ARA mode. We're gonna just destructively do it real quick, right? So I'm gonna open it up. Where is it? It is right there. Vocal align 6 standard. I'm gonna capture my guide. Then I'm gonna, semicolon down to keep my selection. Capture, render. Capture, render. Then I'm gonna do this next part, right? If you can pull this off fast, you'll be a game changer. Because I can usually do this while I'm recording, right? So like there's no downtime. That got a little messed up. And we'll grab this one, we'll vocal align this, boom, and then we'll grab this last part right here. Capture, we'll come down here. The newer vocal lines are a lot like better at this because in the old ones you had to keep the selection like exactly the same or it wouldn't really work. On these newer ones you don't necessarily have to do that. Cool, now we did that. And then, another little game changer for Pro Tools that I'm gonna show y'all. So there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can do this like in the keyboard shortcuts window, or you can do this in system preferences. But there's this really great thing hidden in the window menu that says hide all floating windows, right? And so I changed that to be Command W because you can Command W in every software on a Mac will open and close windows, right? So in my Pro Tools, Command W closes my plugins. That's how I'm able to because the time it takes to scroll up to click the X, that's too much time for me. Command W, close it, and if I Command W, it'll open that same thing again. It does it for plugins, it does it for these things. That's how I'm able to open and close them really quickly, right? It's a very little helpful keyboard shortcut. Okay, so we got some doubles. Did you said you want to do some harmonies, or what's the?
Yeah, I want to do, for sure I want to do a harmony on that, yeah.
Okay.
Let's hit that real quick.
Cool. All right, harmony on the yeah. Let's hit some doubles on the yeah. We didn't double the yeah, so let's hit some doubles on the yeah, and then we'll harmonize it. And so now that we've layered the doubles and we vocal line them, now we can bring them back in. Right? One more time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring you closer too.
Okay.
One more time. Nice. One more. As you see, sometimes I have this habit of forgetting to press record. That happens to me often, but it's okay. We're on Quick Punch. All right, harmonies. So the way I like to usually split it is this first group is my doubles, and now we're in harmony. So we'll go down to our next group. Let's hit it. One more time. Try to keep that without vibrato. It's getting a little shaky. Okay. Nice. Let's get one more. Dope.
Okay, let me listen one more time, see if I can do one more.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Life just keeps getting better. Getting money, taking trips, counting wins.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me hear it.
'Cause life just keeps getting better. Getting money,
Did I do that already?
No.
Is that the one I did?
No, that's not the one you did.
Okay.
You want to add that one?
Yeah.
All right, let's dub that.
'Cause life just keeps getting better. Getting money.
Got it. Nice. So in this case, this might not be something I want to vocal align, right? Like I don't mind these being a little loose, right? I don't mind these, you know what I'm saying? They're not too off. Now, I might go back after on some post-production and I might flex time this thing to stretch it, but you know, it feels good. I think we're good. I don't think we need to do too much.
Yeah, I don't think so
Yeah,
either.
I feel this feels good to me. Does it feel good to you guys? All right, before we switch to the rap, do we have any kind of questions that I could take right here?
So how do you like change your workflow when you're working on systems that don't have like analog compressors? Like, do you just put all of it on the lead vocal?
I wouldn't. Yeah, so I would just use the same settings that I have. You know, like if it's a situation where I can use my Apollo, then I would be in the console and I would be printing the same CO1B settings that I'm using here. I would be using them in the console and printing them in, and then I would just be constant. Like I'm a fiddler. Like if this was closer, I would have been like this the whole time. So I'm like constantly flipping between like this window, like adjusting the input and the output and the threshold, and then flipping back. So yeah. Yes.
How long did it take you to figure out what plugins you were going to put into your template, and kind of what did you?
They cycle out often, but the only thing that I'm concerned about is this number right here. I need this number to be as close to 0 as possible because I know that because of autotune, I already am going to get like 50 samples of delay. So there are plugins that I prefer to use like in a mix context, but if they make this number go up, they're
Not in the template.
Singers, especially like high-level singers and songwriters, are so sensitive to latency. Like going from like 80 samples of delay to like 150 might throw them completely off. So I know I have to give up some to autotune. So if they're making that go up, they're chalked for my recording template. Yes.
How you selecting the clip and moving it up without actually using it like
Like this. So the P goes up and the semicolon goes down. So like I would cut this or copy this, right? Go up and then paste it. Yep. I just highlighted it, or I tend to, instead of highlighting, I tend to like click, hold down shift and click to the next part. Yes.
Yeah, how do you determine how hard you hit the 73 coming in with like the red knob on there?
I don't know. I just what feels good. Like I don't have a specific value about anything. It's all about what feels good. We'll take a couple more, and then we will. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, bet. We'll take a couple more.
A good question to be the shortcut to playlist.
The shortcut to playlist. Okay, there's a couple of them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. So shortcutting the playlist. Control and then the thing that's between the return. What is that, a forward slash or is that a backslash? Backslash. Thank you. So you have a couple playlist options, right? So a regular playlist is control and backslash. Now I have been using Pro Tools for too long, so I cannot turn off the naming thing because it throws me off because I'm so used to like doing it and then pressing enter. But if you're just starting, there's a setting in your settings under what, operation? No, it's under editing, I think. Yeah, it's down here. Suppress naming dialog when creating new playlists. If you're getting started with Pro Tools, turn this on so this thing doesn't pop up every time. But I'm so used to like doing it and pressing enter, the times I accidentally, when I try to take it off, I accidentally like jump to the beginning, right? That's a new playlist. To duplicate the playlist, it's control command / yeah, backslash, sorry. And then if you have multiple tracks selected, right? If you do control option shift and backslash, it'll make a new playlist on those tracks. If you do control option shift and command, it'll make a duplicate on those tracks. Yes.
Do you automatically align all the vocals? Because like just to me, vocal alignment, what you just did takes the soul out of doubling. Mm-hmm. There's no point in doing a double if it's perfectly vocal aligned. Like no human being sings perfectly on themselves, and that's the soul of a song. So why would you vocal align the double?
It depends on the context and the what we're looking to get out of the doubles. If we're just looking to, for me at least, like if we're just looking to get fullness, I like that aligned sound because it still is keeping some of the slight variations in the vocals so we can get that. Like, if I'm looking for the doubles for fullness, I'll align them. If I'm looking for the doubles for feel, I won't, and I'll probably do it by hand, right? A lot of times, I'll vocal align in a session, like if I need to, especially if it's like a demo situation where I just need it tight, quick. But if it's like a song, a lot of times I'll go back, if I have time to go back afterward, and I'll like turn on the flex mode, and I'll go in and I'll like align it by hand, because it'll never be as tight, but it'll improve the performance. At least that's the way I kind of think about it. Yeah. All right. Other questions before we move on? It's hot here. No? All right, time to wrap.
There's one in the back.
Oh,
there's one in the back, man.
Yeah. Oh wait, there's one in the back. I'm sorry. I'm very short. I'm sorry.
I got one more for you, but maybe it's for a little later. Like, I work with a lot of people who, you know, are working at restaurants and stuff like that. They might not know the real detailed intricacies of this. How much do you bend to whatever they say, even if maybe they're saying stuff that shows that they're not understanding what a delay is or whatever type of thing? You know what I mean?
Like in what context do you mean?
Like somebody says, I want a delay on it, and then they hear it and they go, that doesn't sound right. Or basically, how much are you bending to somebody who doesn't necessarily understand exactly what they're talking about?
It's part of our job is to decipher what they're trying to say, one. And then two, ultimately for me, my name is not on the front of the record. You know what I mean? My name's on the back of the record. It's not my song. It's their song. And it's my job to help facilitate their ideas. Now, I'm going to offer what I think, sometimes if that's what they're looking for, but ultimately, my job is to help facilitate their ideas, and I want to try to decipher what it is that they're trying to communicate so that we can get the best possible version of what they're trying to say. I don't know if that really answered it, but like, I'm just trying to decipher what they're trying to say. And sometimes, honestly, sometimes you just got to do what they say. Like, and this goes back to what I was saying before about like getting good at using the software so you can do things quickly. So if somebody's like, I want my voice pitched down by a block. Okay, learn how to pull that off quickly so you can just do it and let them hear it and let them decide that that's not what they want, right? So if somebody's like, yo, I want you to put all the vocals on the right side. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you about why that's a good idea or not. Like, there's something I always like to think about is like, I'd rather do something than talk about it. So if somebody's like, anytime this thing comes up in the studio, like, well, what if we blank? I don't like that. Let's just do it, and then we can decide. So what if we cut this verse out? Okay, we can cut the verse out. I know how to do that quickly. Yeah. And then I let them decide if that's what they're looking for. You know what I mean? All right. We're gonna wrap. Okay, so we don't need this, or any of these. So we can take all these off. Yes. Yes. Yeah, she just wants to hear the hook real quick. So, do you guys know how I moved that hook that quickly? Does everybody know about clip groups? One of the great features in Pro Tools that people do not use enough. Do y'all know about clip groups? Not track groups. So clip groups are grouping clips together, right? So it's Command Option G to group, Command Option U to ungroup. So I was able to group those clips together and drag them all back to the beginning and then ungroup them. So I know I didn't forget anything. I know things didn't shift around. Clip groups are your friend. All right. You ready? Let's get it. Just let me know if you need anything, if you need a vocal to come up or any of that fun stuff.
Just like presence in my voice.
Got you. So especially when a rapper says that, when they say presence, I'm opening up this bad boy right here. I'm just gonna give them some more of this. And honestly, I might even open this up and give them a little bit more of that.
Gave niggas 6 foes like the Tendo's company. And Flippy gave hits like a broad in Montgomery. A concrete rose who learned how to grow a money tree. Yeah, I gave niggas 6 foes like the Tendo's company. And Flippy gave hits like a broad in Montgomery. A concrete rose who learned how to grow a money tree. So my seed prophesied the greatest as my summary. Greatest is my underage. 13 I was hustling. Piece by piece I placed like jigsaw while they was puzzling. Free all of my dogs inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle. Tell far I'm in my duffel. Nice I almost jumped on the clip. I was.
Yep, let's run it back from the top.
I gave niggas 6 foes like the Tendo's company. And Flippin' gave hits like the broad in Montgomery. A concrete rose who learned how to grow a money tree. So my seed prophesied the greatest as my summary. Greatest is my underage. 13 I was hustling. Piece by piece I placed like jigsaw while they was puzzling. Free all of my dogs inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle. Tough farm in my doubles nice. I jumped off for the clip. I felt like I was a hustler. This growth and uncomfortable. Hoes don't really love you cause you up, they wanna fuck with you. Advice my mama told me. At times I was in trouble, you. I guess the world is in my hands now. You got a plan, then you can't, I'm making bands now. They used to laugh with all the roses in the stands now. Y'all stand up comedy, my niggas tend to stand out. It's all I need.
Can't trip off the smoke thing.
Nice, man. That was fire. Let's hear that back. I think there might be one spot we could punch. I think there was the first time you said Huxtable, you didn't like finish it, so we could probably grab that. But let's just hear it. Yeah, let's just hear it and see what we got.
I gave niggas 6 foes like the Tendo's company. The Flippin' gave hits like the broad in Montgomery. A concrete rose who learned how to grow a money tree. So my seed prophesied the greatest as my summary. Greatest is my underage. 13 I was hustling. Piece by piece I placed like jigsaw while they was puzzling. Free all of my dogs inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle. Tell far I'm in my doubles nice. I jumped off for the clip. Yeah, like that. Tell far I'm in my doubles like pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle. Tell far I'm in my doubles nice. I jumped off for the clip.
Yeah, let's grab that. Just rap along with it for me before that.
Inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it. Alright, let's get this right. Inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle. Tell far I'm in my duffel. Nice song on the jet on the clip.
So
He's saying hustle, not hustle.
Hustle, yeah, so can we stop at Hustle? Because it's just coming out a little unclear, then we can grab it right after. All right, bet.
Inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle.
Perfect, yeah. So, you saw how I muted that clip? So what I would do here is I would click on my muted clip, I would come down, I would cut it, and I would bring it up, right? So I could copy exactly what my punch was, you know what I mean? All right, let's get it right after that.
Inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle. Tell far I'm in my duffel. Nice song on the jet. I felt like I was up there. Let me get that whole line.
Bet.
I'm gonna say it better.
Remember what I was saying earlier about muting? This is the case where I would use that, right?
Marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle. Tell far I'm in my duffel. Nice, I almost jumped off the cliff like I'm a Huxtable. That's growth in the uncomfortable. Hoes don't really love you cause
Because instead of cutting, I didn't know where he was gonna stop. So by just muting that, then I could allow him to rap for as much as he would have wanted, and then when he would stop, I would just brought it back in. You see what I'm saying? Just to give him that flexibility. Because a lot of times, you're recording songs that nobody has ever heard. The artist hasn't heard it before because they just wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So we're all figuring this out as we're going, right? Cool. All right, let's hear all that. Then you gotta remember to unmute it.
Free all of my dogs inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long with it thought my last name was Hustle. Tell far I'm in my duffel. Nice, I almost jumped off the cliff like I'm a Huxtable. That's growth in the uncomfortable. Hoes don't really love you cause you up, they wanna fuck with you. Advice my mama told me. At times I was a trouble youth. I guess the world is in my hands now. Youngin' got a plan, Danny, you can't. I'm making bands now. They used to laugh, but all them hoes is in the stands now. Y'all stand up comedy, my niggas tend to stand out. It's all I need.
Can't trip off the small things, cause life just keeps getting.
Nice.
Money.
Step in and outs, ad libs, or just leaving it.
Ooh, baby, I like you raw.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. You got it.
Yeah, let me get this second list.
Let's do it. So y'all see how clutch these markers are? He like, let me get the second verse. I know exactly where we're going. I don't have to look up at the beat because I like to focus on my vocal, right? So I'm down here. I'm not looking up at the beat because I drop my markers so I can keep track of what's going on, right? Something else I like to do in these situations where I'm recording on a laptop screen. Does anybody use window configurations? No? Window configurations are a slept-on function in Pro Tools. Okay, so window configurations are these things up here, right? And you can essentially set your screen to look however you want and flip through it using a simple shortcut. So the shortcut for window configurations is you have to have a keyboard that has the number pad. It's period, whatever number your configuration is, and star. So when I'm working on a laptop, I have two configurations. If I do period 1 star, I'm sorry, my fault. If I do period 2 star, it opens everything up like this, right? If I do period 3 star, it closes everything up except for my comments and my IO. Why did I do this? Because my screen is small. Look at how much real estate I got on my screen compared to that, right? And it's like, well, Ben, what if you need to change something real quick? Well, I have my mouse, and the way my mouse is set up, if I press the top 2 buttons, it flips to my mix window. So if I need to change a plugin, I can just change it. And now I have a bunch more screen real estate to work with. All right, second verse.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. There we go.
All I needed was the blueprint. Whole car saluted me, was working out a good crib. Looking like the Hey, see, all I needed was the blueprint. Whole car saluted me, was working out a good crib. Look at the life that who lived. My father was a refugee, my mama was a war child. Sat on side the hill now, big stepping through the morale. Swinging like my name as Morales. Demon dodging, I was See, all I needed was the blueprint. Whole car saluted me, was working out a good crib. Look at the life that who lived. My father was a refugee, my mama was a war child. Sat on side the hill now, big stepping through the morale. Swinging like my name as Morales. Demon chop. Fuck, let me punch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, from after Morales.
Gotcha.
Swinging like Miles Morales, demon charges, shit's a child. Sat on side the hill now, big stepping through the Morales. Swinging like my name Miles Morales. Demon charges, hold on, let me see how I said this line. I wrote it with no beat, hold on. Swinging like Miles Morales, swinging like my name Miles Morales. Demon charges, shit's a child.
Play it real quick, what he said?
Sat on side the hill now, big stepping through the Morales. Swinging like my name Miles Morales.
Yeah, exactly. You already know what the fuck I'm about to say. Out the it's, the does, and things like that, they work to the point he said swinging like a Miles Morales. You know what I'm saying? He just took out some words. But that's why I was like, figure out a way to shorten that.
So, one sec. This is key. Remember earlier when I said sometimes your job is to just click and sometimes your job is to give feedback? So there's somebody in here giving feedback. I need to be focused on clicking. So what should I be doing? He just gave him feedback on this line. So he's gonna redo this line. So I need to be, in this moment, I need to be muting this line and getting set up for this punch so that when he's like, I'm ready, we're flying, right? There should be no downtime that's your fault. There can be downtime, but that downtime cannot be your fault. You need to always be ready. There's no time in a session to be like, hold on, I gotta copy this, hold on. Absolutely not. The only one you get is, hold on, the computer crashed, and you don't wanna have that one to happen, right? We're gonna punch that line too, right? And if you notice, when I'm getting ready for these punches, especially for a rapper, when I can, I'm trying to punch on breaths. Trying to punch on breaths, right? Trying to punch on breaths, that's my goal. And now, how do you notice that? You just get used to looking at waveforms, and I can see that this is a breath. And if I can't punch on a breath, I'm gonna try to punch on a low part. I'm probably punch like right here.
Y'all just saw the example of how me and Goo record at the crib.
Must be nice.
Little shit like that.
Yup.
We good.
Let's get it.
My father was a refugee, my mama was a war child. Alright, let's get it, my bad. Get the life that who lived. My father was a refugee, my mama was a war child. Sat on Silent Hill now, been stepping through the morals. Swinging like Miles Morales. Demon dodging shit a challenger, a maverick, but you know I'm not from Dallas, bitch. It's Charlotte to the death of me. Nah, I ain't settling. I'm outside where the rebels be. Don't ponder where them devils be. My God, I come to you as a sinner for dawn. I survived the nights, the pride from dinners. It's deeper than the underworld and broader than the earth. Wider than the sea and it's stronger than the dirt. Grandma smiling like she Kurt. Lil' Reuben made it out. Feel like Wayne, I had to stay dedicated through the drought. West Africa, my heart, but I was born inside the South. I'm like ludicrous and no one built this shit through word of mouth.
Fire. All right, before I stop it, does anybody notice what I'm doing? Where's my cursor? My cursor is ready to make that edit, and my playback is ready to play it. So when he stops, I can just play. Well, and my cursor was already right here.
Dodging shit a challenger, I'm maverick, but you know I'm not from Dallas, bitch. It's Charlotte to the death of me. Nah, I ain't settling. I'm outside where the rebels be. Don't ponder where the devils be. My God, I come to you as a sinner with dawn. I survived the nights, the pride from dinners. It's deeper than the underworld, broader than the earth. It's deeper than the underworld. It's deeper than the.
Got you. You ready? Let's do it.
You as a sinner for dawn, I survived the nights, the pride from dinners. It's deeper than the underworld and broader than the earth. Wider than the sea and it's stronger than the dirt. Grandma smiling like she Kurt. Lil' Reuben made it out. Feel like Wayne, I had to stay dedicated through the drought. West Africa, my heart, but I was born inside the South. I'm like ludicrous and no one built this shit through word of mouth.
So I heard him on the first take and there was no beat. We can't just end it. So I already had the beat flown. And this is why, now I don't know if this fits on this song, but I just wanted to illustrate having that low pass filter track ready to go. No opening up a plugin, or it was ready to go. And even if I wanted, let's say I wanted it to sweep into that, well, my automation lane is already ready, right? So if I wanted it to sweep in that, it was already 2 clicks. We're sweeping it. See what I'm saying? All right, let us hear that take back. Again, we cutting on breaths. We comping on breaths. Let's hear that take.
For dawn, I survived the nights, the pride from dinners. It's deeper than the underworld and broader than the earth. Wider than the sea and it's stronger than the dirt. Grandma smiling like she Kurt. Lil' Reuben made it out. Feel like Wayne, I had to stay dedicated through the drought. West Africa, my heart, but I was born inside the South. I'm like ludicrous and no one built this shit through word of mouth.
Fire. And so something I would do in this situation is I would just grab this come on and I would just throw this back on here. Just a little, I don't want a super noticeable delay. I just want something to fill it in. I would actually probably go with my, quarter. I already know this feedback gonna be too much. And I already know that I need to copy this down to here. Boom. Just subtle. Dope. Sounds great, man. Thank you. All right. So, real quick before we wrap, we're gonna do a 5-minute rough mix. That's gonna entail we'll get a little gold clip. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Ryan. Get a little gold clip, little God particle, and I'll turn my meter on. Now I'm not much of a rough mixer. I'm gonna be honest, because now it depends on the situation, right? It depends on the situation, right? I came up in a world where it was like song bounce, next song bounce, next song. Now if I was in a situation where I had more time, then I would go and I would, you know what I'm saying? But I tried to adjust most of that on the front end. So if you saw, I was making compression and EQ changes while he was recording. So now I can just throw my limiters on and we can move on to the next song, right? Because I'm not just sitting here. I've seen engineers who just sit here idly while they're recording. Now, in this situation, he was doing long takes. If he was doing short takes, I might have had more stuff to do, but I know my software so well that I could still be doing things. I don't have to just sit here idly, you know what I'm saying? So, shall we play it down? And we're gonna be making it, like this is not just an idle playback. We making adjustments during this too, you know what I'm saying? We might do a beat drop or something. Let's see.
Can't trip off the small things, cause life just keeps getting better. Yeah, getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all that.
So first thing, Do you want it to just come in like that? Yeah, let's. Beautiful. Okay. In this case, what is the best way to do this? No, that's not the best way to do it. What is the best way to do this? Anybody? He wants something to come in on the beginning. What is the best way to do this?
Insert space.
Thank you. Insert space. All right. We're gonna select how much space we need. We need 4 bars, right? Let me see. Let me see if I remember what this is. It is option 5, number pad 5, I think. No, it's not. Option number pad 4. Because I have a custom shortcut for this. Sorry, it's option number pad 2. There it is. Option number pad 2. Tempo operations. Oh no, is it option tempo operations? I'm sorry. It's option number pad 1. Time operations. We're gonna go from change meter to insert time. We're gonna hit apply, and that gave us 4 bars in the beginning. It moved everything. Option number pad 1, or it's under event time operations. So we're gonna insert time in the beginning. This is what you do if somebody's like, yo, can you add 4 bars in the beginning? Or can you add another verse? Now you just gotta remember, it's gonna do it after whatever you select. So if I need to add another verse, I'm actually gonna select 16 bars over here, and then I'm gonna insert time, right? Or I'm gonna select 8 bars, and I'm gonna insert time, and it's gonna move everything down, right? Or if somebody's like, yo, you know what? Cut that second verse. I can do that same thing. I would just pick cut time and it would snap everything together. It's like shuffle, but you don't have to like select the whole session. You can just select this and it'll snap everything, right? Cool. So you want a 4, bum, 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 bum. All right, so we need the full thing actually. Boom. What should I do now here? What's the best way to do this? No. Option R, repeat. Type in 3 because we need to repeat it 3 times. That's the best way to do that. But I was terrible with this, so this actually needs to be this. But there's that snare, so we need to clean that up, guys. That doesn't sound right. So maybe let's see what this sounds like. All right, so let's delete these. Boom. Select option R. That's hard, but that's not hard enough because we are not lazy engineers. We are responsible. So we're gonna cut this. We're gonna give us a little baby fade. This stuff is about effort. This is not about knowing what you're doing. This is about, did you have enough effort and care to want to do? And you know what? Let's go even harder, right? So what if we take this, right? Ooh. Yeah, what if we verify this last one? Let's see what that feels like, right? And then she's coming in close to the 1, right? So what if we take this, we're gonna cut this cant, we're gonna copy this up like this, and then we're gonna quickly make ourselves a stereo track, because do not do reverse reverbs in mono. Let's do them in stereo. So now we made ourselves a stereo clip. Let's bring this bad boy down, right? So then we're gonna select us some space. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna give us a little reverb. When you're doing a reverse reverb, bring your pre-delay to 0 because you don't want all that gap before your reverse reverb, right? We're gonna render it. Don't use this reverse. Actually open up the Audio Suite reverse plugin. It works better than that one. And then now, we're gonna see if we can time this to make it not sound bad. I'm gonna delete this, give us a little baby fade, and then let's see. So now, in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually move my in marker to the actual in point, and I'm gonna just drop a C1 marker. So now, if I wanna jump to the beginning, I just do period, 1 period, because it's the first marker. Oh wait, one more thing. This needs to be routed correctly. And we're gonna be responsible, and we're not gonna leave tracks with random inputs. It doesn't really work. Those things tend to not work if you don't come in like directly on the 1. All right.
Like the Nintendo's company. The flipping gave hits like the brawling Montgomery. A concrete rose who learned how to grow a money tree. So my seed prophesied the greatest as my summary. Greatest since my underage, 13 I was hustling. Piece by piece I placed like jigsaw while they was puzzling. Free all of my dogs inside the pound covered in muscles. Ran my marathon so long, would've thought my last name was Hustle. Tell for I'm in my duffel. Nice, I almost jumped off the cliff like I'm a Huxtable. There's growth in the uncomfortable. Hoes don't really love you cause you up, they wanna fuck with you. Advice my mama told me. At times I was a troubled youth. I guess the world is in my hands now. Youngin' got a plan, Danny, you can't. I'm making bands now. They used to laugh, but all them hoes is in the stands now. Y'all stand up comedy, my niggas tend to stand out. It's all I need.
Can't trip off the small things, cause life just keeps getting better. Yeah, getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all I need. I got all I need.
And I have a question.
And I hopefully have an answer, but I probably don't. What's up?
The all
Yeah.
feels like super compressed to me.
Okay.
I like
Let's
how
adjust it.
If it could sound big.
Can't trip off the small things, cause life just keeps getting better. Yeah, getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all.
Oh yeah, it just needs to come up. It just needs to come up. That's fine.
I got all I need. I got all. I got all I need. I got.
But what? I just made a change on this hook, so what do I need to do? I need to be responsible, and I need to fly that jump back here. Boom, there we go.
Can't trip off the small things, cause life just keeps getting better. Yeah, getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all I need. I got all I need. I got all I need. I got all I need.
See, all I needed was the blueprint. Whole car saluted me, was working out a good crib. Look at the life that Rue lived. My father was a refugee, my mama was a war child. Sat on Solid Hill, now I've been stepping through the morals. Swinging like Miles Morales. Demon dodging shit, a challenger, a maverick. But you know I'm not from Dallas, bitch, it's Charlotte to the death of me. Nah, I ain't settling, I'm outside where the rebels be. Don't ponder where them devils be, my God, I come to you as a sinner for dawn. I survived the nights, the pride from dinners. It's deeper than the underworld and broader than the earth. Wider than the sea and it's stronger than the dirt. Grandma smiling like she Kurt. Lil' Ruther made it out. Feel like Wayne, I had to stay dedicated through the drought. West Africa, my heart, but I was born inside the South. I'm like Ludacris and no one built this shit through word of mouth. Come on.
We are hooked back. Hooked back.
You want to bring it back? You know what? Let's bring it back. And let's bring it back after that. Actually, so
Yeah.
Bam. Yep. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, how are we gonna do this? What's the best way to do this? We're gonna select this, right? Boom. I'm gonna select all this. Actually, best way to do this. I'm gonna select that and that, and I need my doubles and my harms, and I'm gonna make a clip group like that, and then I'm gonna just bring it all down here. And again, markers, so I can already see where that's supposed to come. Cool.
Can't trip off the small things, cause life just keeps getting better. Yeah, getting money, taking trips, counting wins, blessings overflowing on me. I got all I need. I got all I need. I got all I need. I got all I need.
Nice. Drop an end marker, so we gotta adjust this. Beautiful. So the last thing I would do from here is I would probably adjust that limiter, because right now we were hitting like -9. I try to get my stuff out at like -7 or 8, so I'd probably adjust the stereo bus a little bit. And then I would come up to this last audio track, and I would consolidate a clip that's the entire length of this, so I know, because this doesn't start exactly on 1, so every time I bounce it, I'm there. And then I would save it, right? So I'll just call it, just do a little this. Actually, what I really would do, what's the name of the studio again? Bravo. So I would do this, and then I would do, so I would do the version number, I do the location, and then what's today? 26?
26.
and then I would bounce that. I would give it the song name and you guys' name, and then the version number, the location, and the date. And yeah, and then last little things, whenever you bounce something, make sure you do a save as, copy the name of it into the bounce so that you want a bounce and a session have the exact same name, so you can just spotlight search the bounce and find the session. And then from here, the last little thing I will touch on real quick is if they were like, we want this session, so I call them slims with a bunch of M's. And then they're like, we want this session. Okay, cool, I'm gonna slim this down. Not because I don't particularly care if you guys take all my settings, who cares, right? I wanna make this as accessible as possible. So I'm gonna delete every track that didn't get used, right?
Christ, thank you, say it again.
I'm gonna delete every track that didn't get used, right? So this is what I do when I send a session out, right? I'm gonna delete every track that didn't get used, so none of this stuff got used. And more importantly than deleting every track that didn't get used, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to my buses and I'm gonna take off all the plugins that I left inactive so that the next person doesn't need to spend unnecessary money. Nothing's worse than spending money to buy a plugin and opening the session and it's bypassed, right? Like that's just terrible, right? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take all these off, right? I didn't use any strange plugins, so I don't need to commit my auxes, but what I will do is I will commit all the stuff that has the auto-tune on it, and then I will leave the uncommitted ones. So we don't need to do the whole thing, but we'll just do these leads, right? So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna commit all the stuff that has auto-tune on it, right?
While you're saying that, can I just reiterate that, please?
Yes, sir.
That is the difference between whether or not I want to work with somebody over and over again or not. As a mixer, it takes me 3 hours to figure out what the person didn't use. I swear to God, and that's one of the most important steps of taking out the stuff that you did not use, because everybody's gonna have a different template, everybody's gonna have stuff going different places, and it is super annoying for me to sit down and mix and have to figure out what you did.
Yup, he is super right. So I'm gonna commit all the stuff I didn't use. I'm gonna commit everything with auto-tune because everybody has a different version, blah, blah, blah. But I'm gonna leave, right? I'm just gonna make these really small. I'm gonna leave all the ones with the tune in the session because I didn't go through, I didn't meld it. I don't know what this next person's wanna do. That's fine. We're gonna leave all this, right? We're gonna be responsible. So in one of these tracks, we're gonna write committed, we're gonna write uncommitted above, right? We're gonna delete this tracking track. We don't need this. This can go. So now our session has been slimmed. This one can go too. Our session has been slimmed down, right? We got everything. We committed everything. Which ones didn't get used? So like this one didn't get used. Did the quarter get used? Quarter got used, the stereo delay, and the time shift, and the small. So those two got used. These 3 did not get used. This didn't get used, and the ping pong didn't get used, right? And then the last thing, usually in my template, another gem for you guys, put all of your contact information in here. I put my name, my email, and my phone number. That's how you get your credits. And then I'm gonna take off these things, right? And then what I like to do is I like to take off the things that I didn't use on my stereo bus, but I like to bypass these if I know it's going to somebody else that might record, because I want them to be able to open this and be able to record, right? But if it's going to a mixer, then I will leave these 2 things on, and then this can go. These VCAs can go, because they didn't get used. And then the last thing, I am gonna do Shift-Command-U to select all of the unused clips, and then I'm gonna do Shift-Command-B, and it's gonna say, do you wanna remove all the unused clips? Yes. Sometimes it doesn't like to work, so I do it again. That's fine. I'm gonna do it again so it doesn't pop up. And then I'm going to do a save, copy in of the audio files, the main playlist only, and the session plugin folder. This is how you get the auto-tune settings. And I'm gonna save that bad boy on my desktop. That should be super small. Close this out, go to my desktop. Where's my desktop? There it is. Copy of. I'm going to, my compress is weird because I like do it with passwords. This is just how my files compress because I need to put passwords on them sometimes. And then I am going to WeTransfer that. All right. I think we got time for some last questions.
Do you always count on saving the main playlist only as being it? As like if they had some other takes that might have had some good stuff in it? Like, would you only send that like upon a request or something?
You should, none of that stuff should be hiding, right? So you want to get out of the habit of having like hidden tracks in your sessions or muted clips. When I send something to somebody, there are no hidden tracks or muted clips. There might be muted tracks with notes in the comments like, here's an alternate version of the hook, but there are no muted clips and no inactive tracks and no hidden tracks. And no playlists, because they weren't there. Right. So it's better for me to give them 5 tracks that they can see that are muted with notes in the comments than give them a bunch of playlists. They weren't there, they don't know what that is, right? I'm trying to make it so that when Guru or Leslie gets it, they can open it up and they can just go. And then I'm also trying to make it for them to be like, well, who recorded this? I want to work with that guy. You know what I'm saying? This is like your resume, right? Like that song, I did a song with Uzi and Wayne, and I sent the session to Fabian. He called me, and he was like, this looks great. And now we built a relationship off of that. This is like a version of me being sent out, so I want it to look the best possible way. Yes?
Do you mix and master through your headphones or through your monitors?
Through my headphones, because I live in hotels a lot of times. But I trained myself to do that, and I have really expensive headphones and a headphone amp. But you work with what you got. I prefer to work in monitors, but I live in hotels a lot, so I have to work in headphones.
Remember, I asked a question about mixing through headphones.
Sure.
What's your trick to, I guess, the translation in the low end, like with bass and 808s and stuff?
The trick to translation with anything is you listen to a ridiculous amount of music in whatever whatever your working environment is at the same volume that's not like blaringly loud, like a consistent working level. You listen to, no, you don't want it to be, no, I'm talking about like listening on Spotify, not super loud, right? You want to listen to it at like a normal volume, and you want to listen to a lot of music and learn how your speakers or your headphones or your room react to that music, and then do that with your stuff. That's the trick to getting anything to translate. Other questions before we get out of here?
How often do you use, SonarWorks by Sound ID?
Never.
Do you use that at all?
Never.
Oh, and another question, as far as keyboard shortcuts.
Yes.
How often do you make your own custom keyboard shortcuts?
A ton of them. I use SoundFlow to make my own. That's why I'm using my laptop. But I also know the basic one. I'm not gonna like change the cut function from Command E to like Command P. No, but like I have custom ones to like open up windows and like close stuff and copy things like.
Good with your brain, basically.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna change the default settings because this is beautiful that I was able to get my laptop, but like I still need to be able to jump on this computer and know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So don't get in the habit of like making all this custom stuff that might not be your experience. Like if you can make something that'll enhance your workflow, that's nice, but you still need to be able to jump on this computer and work.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yep. Last couple questions, or we get everybody a little hot? Yeah.
I know he is. Just quickly, how did you change the EQ curve in FabFilter?
So this is why, as much as my brother Ryan's been trying to get me off FabFilter, this is why I have to use it, because I know all the shortcuts. I'll open it real quick. So now this is all Mac specific. PC people, I don't know what to tell you, but so quick FabFilter shortcuts. All right, so quick FabFilter shortcut tutorial. So you double click, you make a curve, you use your scroll wheel, it changes the shape of the curve, right? It changes the cue of the curve. If you Option Shift click, it changes the slope of the curve. I like my stuff to be more sloped in, right? And then if you Option up and down with the scroll wheel, it turns up and down the dynamic. And if you Command up and down, it raises the volume. And if you hold down Option, it like doesn't change the cue. And if you hold down Command, it doesn't change or if you hold down the Shift and Option, it won't change the cue. I don't know. The main ones I use are I'll pull it down, Option Shift, click twice because I like the slope to be a little more narrow. I don't know. I think it looks better. I think it's more accurate in my brain. And then I'll sometimes Option for the dynamic. Yep.
I think I have a question.
Yes.
Maybe this is for Ryan and Ben. What's the alternative EQ that you're trying to put him onto?
Kirchhoff.
Nice.
It's nice. I use it sometimes in mixing, but recording for me is so much about speed that recording is like speed, vibe with the artist, because you can just be really fast and it's like whatever, but like speed, vibe with the artist, sound quality. As long as it's not like distorted or like it's not pressing to me. You know what I'm saying? As long as it sounds clean, it doesn't need to be perfect, right? It's about capturing the vibe. Like that probably wasn't like the greatest headphone mix you ever heard, but we capture the vibe and then we can adjust, you know what I'm saying? So. All right, thank you guys. I am here, I'll be there all day tomorrow, answer whatever questions y'all need. Thank you, guys, girls, everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
No problem.